So I wanted to uh, get ahead in preparation for the season that's coming up for the Knicks, and I wanted to take a look and preview each matchup with each opponent and how many times that they play them. Look back a little bit on history, just a little bit. What's good about this Knicks team is you only really have 2 seasons to look back at for most of your context, and then the other things you can, for averages and stuff, you can kind of look back a bit more when you're going into the stats. Look back a little bit, see what the trend is, see how everyone improved, and where I think they can kind of go from there, and then look to see each game scoring output, the numbers that they put up for each game, uh, and then eventually take a look at highlight most of the players, see what they scored, what they average against. In this case, for the Knicks players against the Celtics and vice versa. And we'll also kind of chat and make this a little bit of a fireside chat as well. So this way I can just kind of get my thoughts out and see how the Knicks will fare against the Boston Celtics. So we play the Celtics 4 times this year, and all the games are before the All-Star break. So they'll see us before the All-Star break, and then the next time that we will start talking about them is once the playoff picture gets kind of settled. Once that Wild West gets the dust settles over there. Till then, we start with, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of the game log and highlight the last 2 seasons, but mostly this one. Something to note: the Knicks have 184 wins against the Celtics, and the Celtics have 297 against us. So it's going to be a while because most of these games are 3, 3, 4. I think I saw a 5 and a 6 game a while back. So it's going to take a while, and there's been, I think, 75 seasons now for the NBA. So we'll go from there and see what happens. If you notice, we played them last season, shortened season, January 17th. We beat them 105-75. And we'll take a look and see why. April 7th, we both away games. And then the last game was home, 99-101. And then May 16th, we beat them. This was the last game of the season, May 16th. And in this case, we won the series 2-1, which is not normally the case. If you go back here, we lost 2019-2020 season. We lost the series, 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 we lost the series. We tied. Last time we beat them in the season series was 2012-2013. So that breaks a little streak. That's how you could tell that the teams are improving, when they do these sort of like little things, right? Anywho, first game, which is January 17th. Game's a little bit of a wash because the Celtics didn't have really good scoring output. We'll take a look. It's really just the Jaylen Brown show. 9 for 20, he shot 3 for 9 for threes, but he made his free throws not bad. 25, 6 and 3. And that's pretty much. He almost led his team in assists if it wasn't for Kemba, who did not shoot well that game. from the field and from three. Just from free throws, which is nice. It's good to make your free throws, but he scored 9 points. And it's good because this directly affects the Knicks with Kemba and Evan Fournier whenever he shows up, when he gets traded. So Jaylen Brown puts up, Smart only puts up 10, 2 and 2, so not much help. 0 for 7 for 3. Missed all the shots. And 4 for 15. These are what I like to call mellow numbers. When you shoot 9 for 20, those are Carmelo Anthony numbers, so mellow numbers. 4 for 15 didn't help, 3 for 13 didn't help. 29% from the field, 15% from 3, and 62% from their free throws. Oh, jeez. Whereas the Knicks, 20 points, 19 points. RJ, you'll find scores fairly decent against the, when we look more into the their individual stats, you'll see, but Randle, double-double, 20, 12, and 4. RJ double-double, 19, 11, and 3. So they're really mirroring each other in this game. And to some degree, their field goals as well. 3-point, not too bad. Free throws, not too bad either. I want to see IQ. IQ scores 17. 8 assists. This was his career high, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of fouls, though. 4 fouls for IQ. And Obi helped with 12. That's nice. We need more Obi on 21 minutes, 29 and 31. 7 for 12. Not bad. 2 for 4. You'll find IQ is really, really up and down. There's some times where he doesn't even score points. So this was a pretty decent game. A Dennis Smith Jr. sighting. Austin Rivers sighting. This must have been towards the tail end. Because I think he came in November, December. No. He was already signed. And man, that did not last that long. Quivers did not last that long. And of course, they say he who must not be named, but Alfred Payton, 3 for 9. He could drive. When you needed a getaway driver, sure. But this was pretty much who he was. 9, 4, and 3. Although he can get some pretty good assists. Led the game with assists. Cool. Career high and led the game. Not bad for him, a double-double. Now I want to take a look at the second game. The one that kind of mattered a bit more because everybody kind of scored. If you look, 27-27. Okay, so we came back in the second and the third and on par with the fourth, but sometimes, it's just those 2 points here and just a couple of points there. RJ plays pretty well again against the Celtics. 29, 5 and 2, 10 for 14, 6 for 6 for 3. Not bad, RJ. Randle gets 22, 9 and 6. Not bad. Flirts with a double-double, but he shoots 9 for 23. This is the one thing I noticed about Randle. He'll get a lot of these, and we'll see what he averages against the Celtics. D Rose helped out, 4 for 10 though, with 11 points, 3 people in double figures. 4 for 10, 41% field goals, 48 and 81. Whereas they had 41, 37, and 70. So, we beat them. Did we beat them in this game in the free throws? Yeah. Did we beat them from 3? We do. And they beat us from... Those can kind of maybe negate, but they technically do beat us. from field goal. Who went off? Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Smart. They all went off. These two had double doubles, 25 and 10. Tatum and Brown had 32 and 10, 12 for 26, 10 for 21. Smart hurts you with that 4 for 11, but he shoots pretty good and he made his free throws. That's important to do. And he almost gets a double double, 17 and 9. Sometimes he'll do that. I looked a little bit at his stats. Smart can kind of do that, but also Smart kind of gets like from when I looked at his stats, he kind of gets like 11 points, 14 points, 11 points. He'll get 17. Oh, Tristan Thompson sighting too. At 22 minutes. 41 minutes for Tatum. 36 for Jaylen. And 36 for Smart. Okay, not too bad. 29 Randle. So he doesn't clean up his field goals. 7. He gets a little bit worse. He regresses just a little bit, but RJ gets a little bit better. Now I want to look at the third game. Let's see where we won this game. This was the last game. I think people sat though. Yeah, because Jabari Parker is. So it's a little not fair to, because the Celtics were getting ready to, I think, get their play-in game. So you get a Jabari Parker sighting, which is great. He gets a reference in a Childish Gambino song. 23, 31. They scored 15 points in the second quarter, so that makes sense. 23. I want to look at their minutes. 31. Randall played 37. 22. So RJ continues to play really good against the Celtics. So I want to say RJ will probably score, let's see, 22, 4 and 2, 29, 5 and 2, 19. Whew, this got 11. 11 and 3. 3 assists. 11, 5, and 4. I want to say 7 rebounds. 22, 29, and 20. So 23, 7, and 3. That's what I want to put RJ at against the Celtics. Maybe. Just going to throw some numbers out there. 23, 7, and 3. If I had to guess. Wager, right. But don't take my word for it. Just shooting from the hip here. So this is the third game. They both score in the 20s, not bad. We do get help from Reggie Bullock, but we're not looking. Burks I'm a little concerned about. If Burks doesn't have a strong season, because I looked at his stats, they were also pretty up and down too, and he was hurt, or he out rather, because there were some cases where he wasn't physically hurt due to something that happened on court, right? But this is Burks's. This season, next season could be Burks' seasons where he establishes himself, or else his name. I don't know. It's really a catch-22 because for Burks, it's going to be. It depends what happens when it comes to like trade pieces, especially with Beal and not Kemba. We have Kemba now with Beal and Dame out there. Who knows what's going to happen by the All-Star break? And depending on where they see Burks going, if he'll help his trade value if they're looking to trade him. But also, this organization would probably want to see a bit more consistency. And for him, that's probably going to be scoring in double digits or more often than not. But also, if he can get the other things, if he can get 7 rebounds and like 5 assists, and or do something like get 2 offensive rebounds a game, and 3 defensive rebounds, something like that, to get second chance points. This team might thrive really well on second chance points, because we have Mitch and Nerlens Noel, and that might help us when it comes to doing like the Tyson Chandler and swatting. But anywho, that was a small tangent. Nonetheless, what do we shoot? 43%, 48%, and 79%, 40%. Okay, so we kind of have their number for the most part. We have their number for the most part. Even though we lose, we still perform better overall. It's a little hard to say because they had people out. In this game, they have, yeah, look, I mean, although they did get 5 players in double figures: Carson Edwards, Tremont Waters, Jabari Parker, 6 for 10, not bad. 5 for 6 for free throws. 18 point. I think it was a number 2 overall pick. And he didn't even start. Who led in assists? Peyton Pritchard, 5. Tremont Waters. So we'll see what winds up. I don't know why it does that. We'll see what winds up happening. Oh, because I'm scraping too fast. We'll see what winds up happening. 4 games. I want to take a look and just quickly see their averages. 24. He's on 37 minutes. 24, 10, and 6. So was he doing that roughly? 24, 10, and 6. In this game, yeah, sure. I'm not going to do this for everybody, just for a few people. 22. Yeah. So 20, 12, and 4. Okay, not too bad. RG had 17. D Rose had 14. Burks had 12. Quickly had 11. Not bad. Mitch had 8, but Mitch, this is where we need Mitch. We need Mitch here. We need Mitch here. We need Mitch here. It'd be great if he can get like an assist a game. He gets steals though, which is cool, and he gets blocks. If he gets 2.5 blocks per game, and depending on how many games, if they play like 9 games in January, for example, if he can get 3 blocks in 4 of those games, something like that. Most of his games he'll get 1 to 2, but the rest of those games, something like that would be nice. I also want to see, because Evan Fournier might also be on this too. 13 points per game. We had Kemba's 19 points per game. Extra 20, 33 points. On top of 57, let's say 70, 97, like, I'm going to guess about, with the main players, we can get to 112. I think this team is probably going to, this team is not bad. This team won't be bad, and they have Schroeder, and they have Smart. I don't know who else they have, but I just want to take a quickly look at the stats, because these guys can ball, man, and these guys can get rebounds, and these guys can pass, and they get steals. So something to kind of keep in mind. Fournier, 14 points. No, pardon me, 13 points, 19 here. How is he when it comes to assists? 3 assists. Kemba had 5. Okay. they steal the ball, so I think defensively we'll get a little bit better doing that. Because who was our yeah, we really Mitch and Nerlens Noel. So I think I think we'll run plays better, which I think will be an upgrade. We'll run plays better. I think defensively we we have technically 4 steals a game if you think about it, right? Because Mitch gets 1, Noel gets 1, and I'm just we're just talking here. Kemba gets 1, and Fournier gets 1. So 4 steals, which is cool because that adds 2 more. That'll help. We'll add assists because Peyton. What was Peyton giving us? 3 assists. Kemba's gonna give. Peyton gave us 3. Kemba gives us, based off his stats from last season, 5. Fournier gives us 3 or 4. So those 9 extra, that can be 9 assists could be 18 points. Maybe some of them are fouls. 9 assists could be 23 points, 24 points. Things like that you have to kind of think about and consider. Next, I wanted to see where they were when their record-wise, where they were when they met each other. So their first game, they were 6-8, whereas the Celtics, the first game they were 8-4. So Celtics were on a pretty good trajectory, and then when we go down to April, when do we play them? Celtics. We were 25-27, and that's when? April 7th. (26-26). Okay, so they must have had a pretty big. They must have. They were up a little bit, and they kind of just been in survival mode for most of that season. And then lastly, let's look at the last game of the season, which is a little bit weird because we went on a win streak. They went on a little bit of a. Oh man. They went on a little bit of a win streak as well. Somewhere at some point, yeah, they had a little win streak over here in April. And then I don't know what happened, man. Kind of phoned it in. Knicks, not so much. April, we were good. May, we were good. We only lost in. Oh, there's a bit more. I won't crunch those numbers right now because I don't want to do it off the top of my head. 41-31 at that point. So we kind of pulled ahead. At what point did we pull ahead? It was this game, the Memphis game. So it actually was right after we lost to Boston that we started to pull ahead. And then we went on the 9-game win streak with three overtimes. Not bad, not bad. And I just wanted to show you Boston. Then we play them again in December, Boston, and then twice on a Thursday and a Saturday in January. Boston. And lastly, I wanted to kind of take a look and see a little bit of stats for some of the main players that I got a chance to look at. So this way you guys can see it all. Let me just check. Okay, I'm good here. So Randle against the Celtics last season averaged 20 points, 20.7, 9 rebounds, 5.7 assists, 2 steals, not bad. 7 for 18 overall. From 3, 2 for 5. His free throws, 5 for 6, basically. Not too bad. Not too bad. So let's assume he's going to have one of these nights. I'm hoping, since he plays them 4 times, that he averages about 45% from three, because he'll get fed the ball more. Whereas last season, no, the season before that, 14.7, 8.3, and 3.3. 5 for 11. Didn't even make a single three. So he already helped himself. His free throws. About, yeah, sure. But it's good to see him. It's good to see that. And I'm looking at each player's last, when they played against the Celtics, and then the 3 games before and the 3 games after, just to kind of see their output. So not too bad for Randle. So this way you guys can see points, rebounds. So not too bad. Randle had... Oh, he has a 4-game stretch where he gets a double-double. So that's pretty good for him. I mean, 13 free throws. That's not bad. And if you notice here, 8 for 17, which isn't too bad, but 4 for 11, 5 for 19, 2 for 9, stuff like that. Stuff like that you have to consider. And this is around the game 1. So based off this, not too bad. Double digits each time. This is their April game, Celtics. Randle almost had a double-double. He had a double-double the game before and got, I think, season high in rebounds, defensive rebounds, 15. Not too bad. Oh, he had a triple-double here. He had a triple-double the game after. But he scored in the teens, not the 20s. Interesting. Teens, 20s, teens, 20s, teens, 20s, and then 30s, and then teens. So I guess look for that to see if that makes any sort of sense for anybody. You see his field goals, 5 for 20, 9 for 16 isn't bad. 7 for 19, he work on that. 9 for 23, 4 for 12, 7 for 19. This was a good game, 13 for 23. That was really good. But he's got to shoot a bit more effectively. So if this is 5 for 20, this should be 11 for 20. If this is 9 for 16, against the Pistons, this is good to shoot. Against the Nets, it's going to be a little bit tough. I get it. 7 for 19. But if he can get 10 for 19, he helps himself, I think, a bit more. Against the Celtics, I think since we kind of, even though they get Schroeder, we kind of get their, we have their number overall last season, so that's what we go in against. This 9 for 23 should probably be, if he's going to take 23 shots, Randle should probably be making about 15 of those, 16 of those, I think. And this is for the May game. Since it was the last game, I just looked at the previous 4. For some, I might have the previous 5. 11 for 20, not bad. From 3, he's got to also kind of work on that 3. Even though, 1 for 2 is nice, but 1 for 8. 4 for 10, 2 for 5. 4 for 8 isn't bad. Free throws, fairly solid. I'd say for him. Yeah, see, this is what we're going to need more. He's got to be in the double digits shooting. But if this is 11 for 26, it should probably be... This was against... I remember this game against the Lakers. 11 for 22. Or 11 for 19. Or if you're going to shoot 26 shots, you need to be making 19 to 21 of those. If that's the case. But that's just also me wishful thinking. And next, I want to look at RJ. RJ is pretty good. 23.3 last season, 19 the season before that. Um, Regresses a little bit for defensive rebounds because he got more the season before, and he wasn't really, being guarded well, if that's the case. But he did, if you think about it, 3 more to 7, 2 more to 7. So somewhat evens out to a certain point. Assists somewhat on par. Steals somewhat on par. I'm hoping he gets 1 steal per game against the Celtics. And if he's going to get 3-2-2, 4-3-3 steals, if 2-1-1, but get a steal each game. If he gets 1 block, that'll be pretty cool. Field goals, if he's scoring at this clip, 8 for 11 would be nice. 10 for 14 is nice. 7 for 12. He shot 6 for 6. If he can give 4 for 6 or 5 for 7, that'd be pretty cool. This is what he had last season. He had a 20-point game, but then he had 2 20-point games. So I'm hoping this season coming up, he has 3 20-point games. And 2 double-doubles. That's what I'm aiming for. If you see against the Celtics, double-double. The next game he had a double-double. He had a nice little 20-20, 20-20-20 here. 9, 5, 4, 11, 10. Not too bad. 9 for 19. That's a little tough. Not too bad, but 9 for 18 would look nice because he's a little less than half. 5 for 11. If you're going to make 5 shots, it's 5 for 8. I'd rather have more quality, effective shots when they matter. Because RJ is getting better at the 3 too. RJ is getting a little bit better at the 3. So this is the January game. I wanted to see the April game. 5-2, not bad. He had an 8-point game in which they lost 3 for 11. I think I remember that game too. And then this game, yeah, a little up and down, single-digit games. By year 3, we're hoping to kind of cut those, and I'd say half would be really nice. Let's look at IQ. He was a rookie last season, so just the 3, 8 points per game. If he can average against the Celtics, like 14, if he can double it to 16, that'd be pretty cool. But if he can get to 13, 14, that'd be really nice. 1 rebound, 4 assists would be pretty cool. And this is what he did after the games. You'll notice the single-digit games. You can't be too hard on him. But he did have 17 and 8, which was nice. 9 for 17. His free throws are going to be immaculate sometimes. When he shoots them, it's a thing of beauty. His 3-point percentage, 2 for 3, 2 for 4, 2 for 4. Instead of 1 for 5, 2 for 5. 0 for 1 in this case. Something like 1 for 6, that should probably be, 3 for 6 would be great. But 2 for 6 I can kind of accept. We go on a win streak here. That 9-game win streak. But his output, 5 points, 3 points. And then against the Celtics, he had 2 points, 14 minutes. 13. I want to see Kemba. This is Kemba against the Knicks last season. Nothing too crazy, 9 points. Not much to say. You can see from there. So he's looking to kind of rebound against the Celtics. But the season before that, when he was the Celtic, 16, 33, and 32, I just wanted to show you of what his potential could be. These would be great if we can get this. If sometimes I think Randall might have easier 25-point games. The quality of those 25-point games will come. Um, he'll get going a little bit faster and get into a rhythm better. I think too. Randall and RJ need a good rhythm. So 2 30-point per games. Oh wow! Look at these assists. Look at these free throws. Not bad. 14 for 14. And just to show you where he was around this time. See, if you notice, right after he goes right to scoring, pretty well on a good clip. Not too bad. Shoots pretty decent. 6 for 15. What can you do? And then the same thing. Did not play against the Knicks, but that's the only game he didn't play. Look at these assist numbers. They're pretty decent. Look at these for a guard. 5, 7 points. Not too bad. I think he'll probably give something like this. This will be great if he provides this for us. 17, 9, and 7. Whew, that'd be fantastic. But I think maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy. Anywhere from 11 to 21, I want to say. And for rebounds, 3 to 7. And I want to say assists. Assists, I think he might want to get cooking like that early on. We'll see, because I think IQ and I think McBride are going to be stepping in sometimes to spot start to relieve. So there might be a case where it's like Kemba and D Rose, because Kemba starts, I'm assuming, and then D Rose, IQ, and Burks are that three-headed guard monster, and I'm assuming it's going to be Noel and whoever, Obi, right? So that's going to be a fairly fast lineup, but fast, and the ball's going to kind of like move. That might be like your offensive rebound type lineup, where you can have Obi kind of cutting in and out and sort of moving. And in May, he sat these three, but look, not too bad. I want to see Burks. Not too crazy. 8 and 17. Burks is very up and down. Burks has to kind of pick it up. Burks really has to pick it up this season. I need more quality games from him. Even though he might get into the single digits in some games. I'd rather you have 8 points, 8 points, 8 points, 8 points than 8 points, 3, 7, 17, and then 4, something like that. And then the season before that, 20 and 18. Where he was at this time, didn't play. 11 and 9. And you'll notice here as a Knick, 20, 0, 6, 8, 19, 8, 2. This needs to be, 20. This needs to be 10, 10, 10, 19, 9, and, 8, something like that. Or at least shave off 2 of the single digits and make them double. Improvement. But he did have a 30-point game. 10 rebounds, a double-double, 11 for 20. Against the Spurs. San Antonio. Now I want to see D Rose. He did play the Celtics 4 times because he was on the Pistons. So what did he put up? Not too bad. 17. 4, 8, 3, 2. 11, 7. 4 for 10, 4 for 12. He likes his double-digit shooting. So he's going to shoot double digits. And I think we'll see what happens next season, because the onus won't be as high on him against the Celtics. And this in 2019. He balled out a little bit, not bad. Not bad. And I kind of wanted to show a little bit about where D Rose was. 15, 13, 15, a DNP, um, 24, 10. And then he kind of, a 4-point game on 19 minutes. That's what he was getting. 11 to 25. But then with the Knicks, he kind of had a little, if you look the Aprils and the Mays, going into the Celtics game, 11 points, 3, 16, 7, 9. Okay. And then he gets into the double digits. I wanted to see Evan Fournier, who didn't play, had back spasms. Evan Fournier did not play a lot last season. There was a lot of DNPs. So that's something as the Knicks we have to keep in mind. The thing is, when Evan Fournier comes back, he pretty much balls out most of the time. So I don't know what it was that was bothering him. But that's another thing to focus on for the Knicks is aside from Burks needing to improve a little bit more, Evan Fournier being healthy. So there's 3 people we have to focus on for health, and that's Fournier, and that's Kemba, and that's D Rose. Something to keep in mind for the season. But he did have 16 points, 5 and 2, and then Evan Fournier against the Knicks in February. This is what he averaged, 21 points. Against the Celtics in 2020, 28 points, not too bad. So this is what we're kind of, maybe, if he can try, although they were at losses. And then against the Knicks, he had 15 points. So we're looking to kind of bring, I don't know, like 17 sounds good. 4 and I think 2 might be what he brings. Oh yeah, and here's more stats for him. If you notice, he didn't play against the Knicks. And then he balled out right after. If you look, I think it's season high. Season high, 21 shots. Whoa. What are you doing shooting the ball too much? Double digits and then DNP. And then towards the end of the game, see? DNPs, DNPs, DNPs. Keep in mind for Evan Fournier. And then these are Tatum stats. Nothing too crazy for this season, 25. Just the one game. And then Tatum in 2019. You're looking at more something close to this. Tatum didn't play. Nothing too crazy. But he did score, 20s, 30s. 20s. That's what it's going to be. He had 53 points the game after. So something to keep in mind. But he did have 8 turnovers against the Knicks in a loss. 53-10. And then double-double 3 games in a row. A rare single-digit game. And then boom, right after. More. And I think next is Jaylen Brown. 2 games, and then I think they held him out for that game, for that play-in. He gets a double-double in one of those games, so we got to be careful. He's a double-double machine to a certain point. And in 2019, he played 2, so we're hoping that he doesn't play at least one game, right? 23, 28, okay. What about Jalen? No, Jason Tatum. That's who I'm looking for. 25, 23. These guys can drop buckets. And then I want to see his work. Not bad, man. Whew. Look at those defensive rebounds. He goes for bursts. And then he kind of comes back down. but he gets offensive rebounds, so he gets second chance points. That's something to consider with the Knicks. We got to be careful with second chance points, which means we have to kind of attack them, and we have to get up a quality shot, and every minute we have to possess the ball twice. Every minute of the clock. If we possess the ball twice, I think we'll have better quality scoring output, because it's 24 seconds, 48 seconds. So 2-for-1s basically. You want to go for 2-for-1s. So more possessions, I think, in that case, which I think we'll get from strips, steals, contests. I mean, hopefully everything, assuming everything goes well. Strips, steals, contests, and I think fast breaks. And we might even be able to stop fast breaks too, which will help us defensively. Yeah, he just plays, and then he stops. Then he stops playing. And lastly, I wanted to look at Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is pretty up and down. He did have 9 assists, which puts him up to 13, 5, and 3. But that's what you're going to kind of get from him. I'm getting like 12, 5, 3, 12, 4, 3, something like that. Because he'll do 9, 13, 14, 10, 25, 20, and then kind of go down, kind of go up just a little bit, and then start to regress just a little bit. So we're hoping to kind of get him, we're hoping to get Marcus Smart after his big 20-point game. Let's hope that he kind of like goes down a little bit and regresses. And we're hoping to get him like, if not right after that game, so if I were to look at the schedule, for example, for the Knicks, for the Celtics, right, they play them in December. I'm hoping that this is his sort of like 11.5 assist game, and this was his 24 and 9 game, and then he went to like 17 and 5, things like that. That's where we're hoping to kind of get them. And then he had some DMPs towards the end, I think, to save themselves for the play-in against the Nets. And then Schroeder, I just wanted to quickly take a look at. 21 points against the Knicks last season when he was a Laker. The year before that, I don't know what team he was on, but he scored 16 points, 21. So maybe Schroeder will give like 19, 3.5, and 4.5. Something like that. Anywho, that is pretty much everything. Hopefully I kind of covered everything. The only thing I really wanted to do is just say quickly what I think will be. I think we'll win in October, the opening game. I think we'll lose in December. I guess historically over the last, 15 years, we might have lost more than we won against the Celtics in December. I'm going to say we win because if you really look at it, right, and I wanted to do this at the end when I have the statistical like juices flowing. If you look at it, I want to see where we are when we play against them. We have 2 home games, Sunday and Tuesday. So Friday, here's the thing though, you got to look a little bit before. We have to go to San Antonio, then to Indiana, then to Toronto, assuming that they play up. So let's assume that they play in Toronto. Then we come home Friday. Then we come home for a matinee, and then we're home from basically, let's just say Saturday up until Tuesday night, and then we have to go to Houston, and then we have to fly. We have to go from New York to Houston, back to Boston, and then we come home. So I think we'll be refreshed for these 3 games. I want to say we lose, win. The December game we're going to lose. But let me just take a look and see. Oh, because they play Golden State and Milwaukee. What? That's nuts. Ah, interesting. Interesting. So those would be good matchups to watch because they'll be in strong consideration. Yeah, because they're gonna have a home stretch too. So Friday they play Phoenix. They're gonna have a huge road stretch. 1, 2. They gotta go to Utah. Then they gotta fly basically up and to the left. Then they gotta come down, but then they stay. Then they go a little bit more to the right, and then they have to fly all the way back to Boston, which they could probably do Saturday. And then they have a Monday. Then they have a huge break. Yeah, I think they'll win that game. They have a huge break from Monday to Friday. Then they play Golden State, and I think they'll win that game. Home away, but they're going to be home for the most part. And then the Knicks, I want to see what they're going to do. We'll be away. So to Detroit, and then we come down. We go up, down, and then back to the up and right, and then we're home. I think January 6th. Oof. You know, my knee-jerk reaction was win, loss. The 6th will win and the 8th will lose. But I wouldn't be surprised based off the schedule if we go. We can either go 2-2, just based off my just looking at things, or 1-3, just based off what I'm seeing from the schedule. But that's pretty much it. Your Knicks against Celtics preview. We play them 4 times. Wednesday, October 20th. Then we play them Saturday, December 18th. And then twice, January 6th and January 8th. So it should be fun. It should be really cool. Looking forward to it.